Shanna Hoar is a Kerrville New Folk winner, tours internationally, and writes songs faster than she can keep up with memorizing them. In her own words, I'm a singer-songwriter, University of Virginia graduate with a kinesiology background, 22-year-old adventurist. She made that word up. I want to learn harmonica, be a trapeze artist, become the first famous female white rapper, and obtain a black belt at something martial artsy. Shanna's going to talk about the power of being yourself. Welcome, Shanna.
Also, I don't know who wrote that intro for me, but you gave me 10 extra years, and I appreciate that because I am a 32-year-old adventuress, not a 22-year-old one, but I was like, people are going to be like, huh, what can I learn from a 22-year-old? So I am quite excited about this topic because I've been thinking about it for a long time. I just left 8 years of being in Boulder, Colorado to move to Nashville, and I've been there for 2 months. And over, people tell me, you're going to be great there. Just be yourself. And I have thought, okay, but that's like telling a dog, be a dog. How do you be a dog? And like asking the dog to explain how to be a dog. Like I don't know how to be myself. Isn't that a given? Aren't I always myself? And so on this journey, I've been interviewing everyone I talk to and been realizing, oh, this is a skill. This is a skill that I can practice, and I have practiced, and I'm excited to share with you guys what I've learned about like actual steps you can take to be even more of yourself than you ever realized was possible. And to kick it off, I want to play you this song. I left my relationship of 2.5 years in Boulder before the move. So we're broken up, and I was thinking, I'm in Nashville now. What? Am I going to have to do that horrible online dating thing? I don't know anyone, and like I know I'm looking for partnerships, so maybe we could speed past the small talk and I could just write a song and everyone, and I'll put a link to the song in my dating profile and it'll weed out some folks. So first date. Oh, this isn't even on, huh? Really? Okay. First date, oh, you have a nice face. It's small talk over coffee. We go over the basics, a bunch of little facts that really don't matter. I'll start with my family, end with the data. I have 2 older brothers, one's in tech, one's a chiropractor. My family's from Buffalo, but that's not where I grew up. Went to school at UVA, wahoo, I got my BA. That was an expensive way to make good friends. I'm a 7 on the Enneagram. I have a 67.5-inch wingspan. My birthday is 2/19. I'm on the cusp of Aquarius and Pisces, but neither match much. Play 5 instruments, but only one of them well. I'm a size 10 shoe, and I never tell my middle name. I have 2 eyes and 1 persistent cough, and 10 toes only 'cause they cut the 11th one off. Do you wanna go out with me? Do you wanna go out with me? I play a mean horse on the basketball court, but walking with the dog is my favorite sport. I do cat and cow and yoga if it makes me sweat, and I go down rabbit holes on the internet. By now you know what I look like when I'm not dressed fancy, that I don't like to drink unless it tastes like candy, and I could be a vegetarian if it weren't for chicken wings. I put Frank's Red Hot on everything. I get freaked out by people touching their eyes. I'm a realistic romantic who loves surprises. I'm obsessed with Taylor Swift. Someday we'll co-write a song. She doesn't know I exist. Maybe pass this one along. Do you wanna go out with me? Do you wanna go out with me? We've been hanging a few months. Maybe we'll make it. Things I should have said up front, but I guess I waited. I didn't date till really late in life. I think marriage is a sham, but I still want to be a wife. I think I want kids because I like them a lot, but I'm afraid I can't afford them unless my career takes off. But if it does, maybe it's okay if I don't have them. I'm afraid of childbirth and leaking outside the bathroom. It'd be a bonus if you could balance out my stingy boss, which is this guitar. I'll only marry for love. I'm not shallow, but I can't deny that my pockets are. Do you wanna go out with me? Do you wanna go out with me? What if, wait, this is like my favorite verse. I can't mess this part up. So many darn words. Okay. Let's set it straight. It's like the 28th date. By now you know my clock runs 10 minutes late, and I burn what I cook, and I never make the bed. But if you're still listening, maybe I haven't scared you yet. I twist and break my hair. It drives people crazy. I'm messy, and I'm the best at procrastinating. Do my half of the chores less than a quarter of the time, but I'll forgive your weaknesses if you overlook mine. I can be immature, but it's not always bad. I'll get you to laugh and flash you when you're sad. Got a good brain on my shoulders, a good heart in my chest. If you can stimulate those, I'll let you stimulate the rest. What? Do you wanna go out with me? Do you wanna go out with me? What if this song was like COVID-19 and it spread across the nations and they'd all know me? And when they lifted the quarantine, I'd be overwhelmed with applications. Need a committee to screen, so don't apply if you love 45. And if you're not into my music, this is never gonna jive. I think this could be a good way to save some time. If you like wacky songwriters, I could be your bride. Do you wanna go out with me? I got you. So, I feel so cool behind a podium. I wanted to play you guys that song because, well, not just to find my soulmate, which if any of you have a really attractive single son with a great job and like, but does he, when he finds trash, put it in his pocket until he can find a trash can? Because that is, all right, I found him. Here we go. But I play that song first in every set I play because I want to connect. And here's this hurricane of words. And hopefully something in there sparked this connection. It like, she's a Frank's girl. Like, I'm a Cholula. I'm a Sriracha girl myself. You know, something. And I was thinking about this song recently because 3 days ago I got to write a song with one of my songwriting heroes, and we were doing it on Zoom, and his name's Tom Prasada Rao, and he is worthy. In my songwriter circle, he's very celebrated. He's just like this big teddy bear of love and joy, and really, I feel like just really divinely connected. So hanging out with him is such a treat and a gift. And I was telling him about this talk that I was going to do, and I said, I've never done anything like this. And I chose the topic of how to be yourself. And he was like, oh, well, that's perfect for you. Because honestly, the first word I think of when I think of you is unique. And I said, oh, thanks. And I'm learning that I think that is the number one compliment I want to be given for the rest of my life. And I'm starting to realize how special it is when you're in your you. When I'm in my me, I can feel how magnetic it is, and how you can skip past years of small talk with someone and just drill right into a heart and be like, yes, I see you, I get it, and I can't wait to have an exchange with you. And so further in this conversation with Tom, I said, do you think I have anything to offer a congregation on this topic? Because like, I suspect most of the people there will be older than me. And don't you think by the time you're older, you've figured out how to be yourself? And he was like, well, I haven't. And he's in his 60s. And I was like, what? You haven't? Like, but you're so wise and wonderful. And he said, he was like, oh, but I hide. He was like, I hide behind being nice. Or I hide behind being spiritual. And he was like, but you just say what you think. And he's like that Wanna Go Out song. Aren't we all really just asking people, don't you want to hang out with me? But you just literally ask. And I'm never going to look at that song the same way again. I'm going to be like, well, this song is brilliant now that it's gotten Tom Prasada Rao's blessing. But I was thinking, I think the first step of being yourself is to lower your filter and start checking in with, oh, I just had a thought that I didn't share. And as long as it doesn't hurt people, I am in the camp of share it. And the other day I was thinking about how I think the dumbest thing is complimenting people in your mind. And I do it all the time. All the time. And I was at a yoga class the other day, and there was a woman next to me, and I kept admiring her skin. And I always am noticing like women with like really well kept skin, because I'm like, I wonder what they do. I wonder what products they use. And I had for a little, like a second, that thing of like, isn't it kind of a weird thing to say, wow, you have beautiful skin? And then I ignored it and said, hey, you have beautiful skin. And the woman, her eyes got really big, and she was like, you just made my week, because I have this big scar on my chin, and I've been so self-conscious about it. I wasn't even going to come to yoga today. And so I think about that woman and that moment when I'm having these little things of, and not everything in your head is going to be complimentary, but as long as it's not hurtful, it's often an opportunity for connection. And that's why I stood up there. Like, usually I don't participate in the church stuff. I sit and I watch and I let my crazy mind zone out and do whatever it wants. And then I thought, like, follow your own advice. Like, this to me was my version of lowering my filter. I am thinking of something, and you know what? I'm going to share it at the candle ceremony. So there's step one of how to be yourself. And step two, I decided, is make something. For me, it's making songs. I will find every reason, from a sorrowful one to a really silly one, to write a song, and that lights me up. And I want you to do what lights you up. And I propose that it can be something creative. Because when people say, "Oh, I'm not a creative person," they're wrong. Because being a creative person is redundant. It is in who we are to be creative. It is in our ancestry. If you think back to your parents or your grandparents or your great-grandparents, they were farmers and immigrants and slaves and soldiers, and they weren't consumers just waiting around for life to happen to them. They made things. And I have been reading Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. It's an amazing book. And I want to read this excerpt from it. So, human beings have been creative beings for a really long time. Long enough and consistently enough that it appears to be a totally natural impulse. So to put that story in perspective, consider this fact. The earliest evidence of recognizable human art is 40,000 years old. The earliest evidence of human agriculture, by contrast, is only 10,000 years old. That means that somewhere in our collective evolutionary story, we decided it was way more important to make attractive, superfluous items than it was to learn how to regularly feed ourselves. How awesome is that? So if you're alive, you are a creative person. And we descended from tens of thousands of years of makers and decorators and tinkerers and storytellers and fiddlers and problem solvers and embellishers. And the guardians of high culture will try to tell you that the arts belong to only a chosen few, but they're wrong and they're annoying. We're all the chosen few. We are makers. And like, even if you grew up watching cartoons in a sugar stupor from dawn till dusk, there is creativity lurking within you. And actually, just from looking out at your faces, I know that you guys didn't do cartoons in a sugar stupor from dawn to dusk. I might, look at some 8-year-olds and wonder, but not you guys. So you don't need permission to live a creative life. I want you to find what's something that you can make that lights you up. Because songwriting has changed my world. I wasn't always this free in who I was, but now I have an excuse to turn all of my pain into something productive. And I have a way to share it in a way that's even like slightly normal. It's not really that normal what I do, but calling up someone and saying, I am devastated and here it is almost braver to me than putting it into a song, sharing it to the world, and then letting the people who connected with it come to me and say, I understand. All right. I want to play you guys another song, but I kind of want to speed through my steps because in my going deep of where am I really myself and where am I not? I've found that in people I've asked, I've said, when have you not been yourself? And people have answered, like, after my husband died, after my divorce. And they named these big moments of, like, because when our me is so, like, wrapped up in another person, that is huge when that person's no longer here, and it can take a long time to find your footing. And those answers were interesting to me because I thought, oh, wow, I think of when I wasn't myself, and I think about that time last week, and that time, I don't know, when I walked into a UU church and was like, wait, I don't know anything about, like, the rituals that are going to happen here. Luckily, you guys are really nice. So you made it easy. My Catholic upbringing was like, there's so many things that you have to know about how things go. And here you don't. That's cool. And I thought about this time when I was at a gathering of songwriters, which is usually my happy place. Like, I get to just be like, hey, I'm here. We all do this, have our same happy thing. Let's do our thing. And I didn't feel that way. And there were people, other people there with really big personalities that seemed to fill the room and not leave any space for me. And I found myself, like, watching the show instead of being a part of the show, and laughing, not because I thought the jokes were funny, but because it was appropriate to laugh at that time. And I'd been thinking about it ever since, of, like, I wasn't really me. I wasn't being myself. How can I access being myself in these arenas when it's really, really challenging? And this is not the answer to that question, but I want you to think about it while I play you another song. Also, my stage name is Shanna in a Dress, and that's because my real name is my name is Shanna Hoar, which is awesome. And it's been a great life growing up in the Hoar family. Is my pick in there? Thanks. And when I showed up here and saw that Shanna Hoar was on the front of the program, I was like, you could have made it Shanna in a Dress. And James and Pam were like, oh, but it's church. I was like, it's church. So you put Shanna Hoar? Like, I like the UUers. Which is awesome. So while I tune up here, I just want to tell you that something I think a lot about is what I want to be like when I'm old. And I don't know, it's easy to be afraid of it, to be afraid of getting older. I feel like at every age, people are still afraid of of what they'll be like in 10 years. There's a lot of stuff to take care of and tend to, and I think about, I don't know, my music career and stuff like that. So I kind of got it all down into this song. This is what I hope I'm like. I hope when I'm old I play pranks on my children, curse like a sailor and walk marathons, drive a pink car or pay someone else to, and when the second hand slows I decide when I'm done. I hope that I bake chocolate cookies that can make anybody get weak in the knees. Then I can live on your tongue and in your tongue. I'd make sure everyone gets the recipe. I hope every line on my face that I've earned reminds me of laughter and lessons I've learned. Like always, wear sunscreen and gray hair will come back in style. And when the topic of every day is about the state of my body aches, I hope I remember to say, maybe those who left too young are watching us from beyond, whispering memories every day, saying you could be so sick of this, but I'd give anything to be with you and your creaky knees and daily pain. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I hope my people's skills will be so sharp that when I lose my ears, I can hear with my heart. When I lose my marbles, it doesn't cause heartache. When I lose my wallet, there's nothing left to take. I hope I fall in love with someone so sturdy I can wink at the mailman, never rein in my flirting. I hope that I'm healthy, but within reason. Sometimes ditch the salad 'cause fries are in season. And when my friends start to complain about hardships of sun-ripened days, I hope I remember to think, maybe those who left too young are watching us from beyond, whispering memories every night, saying you could be so sick of this, but I'd give anything to be with you and your doctors and your failing sight. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I hope when I think back on my time on earth that I don't care what others think I'm worth. I hope by then that I'll know I'm enough and that I don't leave my kids with a house full of stuff. I hope I've seen Thailand and Egypt and Paris, and that I have grandkids I get to embarrass. I want to be Betty White and the Maud to a Harold. I hope I get it on decades after I'm sterile. Maybe those who fell too young are watching us from beyond, whispering memories every night, saying you could be so sick, you see, but I'd give anything to be you and get a little more time. Ooh. I'm going to go fast through the rest of my things, which is just, I want this new year to not be your year of self-improvement. I want it to be your year of freedom, because that's what being yourself is. It's just being free, no matter where you go or who you're with, because you've developed the ability to listen to your voice, listen to your inner voice, and follow your joy and follow what makes you come alive, and just think, what could your days look like in 2022 if you brought your truest self to them? Because if you do that, there's no stakes. You can't fail at this because you can't fail at you. You can't fail at you. In any moment, you have two choices, and those two choices are listen to your ego and abandon yourself, or listen to yourself. Because when you're in your you-ness, you can fail miserably and still feel good because you listen to yourself. When you're in your ego, it's like this hustle. It's an endurance sport, and you will get exhausted. And I feel like I've found my avenue. This is my avenue of feeling alive, and I can depend on that when the whole rest of the world is in shambles. And I want that freedom for all of you. So instead of self-improvement for 2022, lower your filter, make something, and on December 31st of 2022, I want you to look back at this year and say, whoa, I was so me that year, to a level that I hadn't even dug to before. And that's what I want to leave with you all today. So hope to see some of you guys Friday at the show. Thanks so much.